What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here. Welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and I'm joined by Canadian Yorker. And today we are recapping the Monday Night Raw that took place on October 14th, and it took place in St. Louis, Missouri. And this show was actually pre-taped last week's because this week the WWE wrestlers are on a UK tour, so they actually pre-taped this show last week. So pretty much Monday Night Raw already happened way last week because they actually pre-taped the show after the last week's Monday Night Raw because this week the wrestlers are on a UK tour. So that's crazy. And I believe this SmackDown is also going to be pre-taped as well because they're still going to be on that UK tour. So that UK tour takes 1 week. That's crazy. But I don't know if that's true if this week's SmackDown is going to be pre-taped, but we have to see what happens. But Canadian Yorker, how's it going tonight?
Going okay, going all right tonight. Can't complain. It's just another long week of work, but glad to be here talking about wrestling.
All right. So, to start off the show, we start off with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley making her entrance and gets a mic. She calls Liv Morgan and Raquel out after the beating she received last week, but Tiffany Stratton shows up on Raw and interrupts Rhea Ripley. Tiffany Stratton says she's here because Nia Jax has a very important message. Rhea should stay out of her business or she's going to have a big problem. Rhea says it ain't Tiffy time, and either she gets hands on Liv and Raquel, or she can welcome Stratton back to Raw the Rhea Ripley way. A shoving match breaks out, but Liv and Raquel blindside both women and beat them down. Raquel blasts Rhea with a big boot. Morgan whops Tiffany with her briefcase, and they stand tall with her title. So that's a short opening segment. So interesting. Tiffany and Rhea in the same ring together, and that's something that I actually a couple months ago wanted to see. And it's like imagine Tiffany and Rhea in the same ring together. Here we right, it happened. So and then obviously Raquel has issues with Rhea and Liv has issues. So Rhea Ripley needs someone to help her to deal with. I mean, Rhea Ripley. People are like, oh, the whole point of Raquel Rodriguez is to protect Liv, but still, they're both running away scared. So, what's the point of Raquel Rodriguez? So, but what are your thoughts on this opening segment with Tiffany Stratton, Rhea, and Liv and Raquel attacking them?
The first thing I want to say is that Rhea Ripley still has many enemies, despite the fact that she is a babyface. A lot of people don't like, a lot of women don't like Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was on a terror terrorized tour. She was on a terror tour when she was with the Judgment Day, and every single time she always took every single one of her opponents out. She beat Nia Jax. She beat Raquel Rodriguez. She beat Liv Morgan. Um, I mean, even Tiffany Stratton doesn't like her. I mean, the fact that she has so many enemies should tell you something about who's going to be the one that's going to help her out against the Judgment Day and help her against the Carol and 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 Liv. And now you have Jax coming out and telling her to stay out of her business. And it's just I'm just wondering who is going to be the woman that's going to help Rhea Ripley out because Bailey got help from Naomi, who she still had some connections with. Who in the world does Rhea Ripley have connections with that can help her out against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez?
This is a long shot, but I've been thinking about this, but I'm uncertain. People are like, it's not going to happen, but let me tell you guys something. This is something that's been on my head for a while. So it could happen, but it could not. Imagine because if you guys don't know, Liv Morgan was the one that took Becky Lynch's World Heavyweight title. And, I feel like Becky Lynch is going to return. She's not retiring. She's not. She's definitely not retiring. I don't think she's coming back. I mean, anywhere where Seth Rollins goes, she's just going to follow. So, just imagine this, guys. So the last person that actually took the title from Liv Morgan actually took the title off of Becky Lynch, and that's when Becky Lynch just took a break. And I have a feeling that Becky Lynch has like unfinished business with Liv Morgan, and I feel like Liv have unfinished business. I mean, she doesn't really care what Becky's doing. She said, "Oh, she's been going around saying that I'm the one that retired Becky Lynch," and she just keeps running her mouth. And I think Becky Lynch is going to go after Liv once she comes back. Now you got to heel Liv. Becky's still going to be a face when you come back. And this is where people are going to maybe call me crazy, but imagine if Becky Lynch comes and helps Rhea Ripley. I know that sounds crazy, but knowing the history between Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, they seem to be in good terms after their match at WrestleMania, and we have to see. I could see that would be the ultimate duel right there. Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley taking on Raquel and Liv. That's something I would be paid to see, but it could happen. I feel like whoever could help Rhea Ripley, I think it's going to be Becky Lynch once she makes a return. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that's a possibility? That's just my own thoughts. So,
Yeah, just send your comments in the comments below because I'm just scratching my head at this one. I don't really see many women who are going to come out other than it could be Becky Lynch, like you said, who could come out and help her, and there could be some other allies as well
you saw
that come
Rhea
out.
Ripley give her flowers to Becky Lynch after WrestleMania.
We did.
What if I'm right? What if Becky makes a return and actually saves Rhea from Liv? What that'll be like? Whoa, I was right.
And I also want to make the point that if Rhea Ripley ever decides to switch to SmackDown, of course, um, um, that Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, I definitely see Rhea Ripley as a
And
threat.
and
Rhea
and then
Ripley,
and then if you guys don't know, Becky Lynch also have a grudge against Dominic Mysterio as well.
yep,
Just keep
that
that
is
in
true.
mind. So Becky Lynch could be a possibility. She can make a return and help Rhea Ripley. Imagine Rhea Ripley and Becky teaming together. That would be unstoppable.
Hmm.
So I wish that could happen, but we'll see. I mean, we're already seeing Cody Rhodes and Roman teaming up together. We might see the unthinkable of Becky and Rhea teaming up after facing each other at WrestleMania. So, and
Well, yeah,
they're both gonna be baby faces. Rhea's a face. Becky's definitely gonna come back as a face. I feel like Becky could come back as a face. She has unfinished business with Liv. So that's just my own opinion. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that happening. Becky and Liv, I
and then
mean Liv
Rhea.
and Rhea and Jay and Dominic. I mean, I'm sorry, not Dominic. You have Damian Priest. I mean, right there, you kind of have a formidable team that can face the Judgment Day right there. So you got something there, you
All
know.
right, so let's not talk about that. All right, so moving on to the first match. Triple H starting off strong in this first opener of Raw. We got a women's tag team championship match. We got the champs Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Excuse me, defending those tag team titles against Damage Control, Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Akira, Jackson, and Lash Legend from NXT are in the crowd. Bianca and Jade defeated them in the tag team championship match that only lasted a few minutes, which was horrible. Last week on SmackDown, excuse me, sorry. Bianca and Jade are in control and working on Sky early. Off the ropes, line tag, shoves Belair off, axe kick, um, snapmare, stereo drop kicks, sends Bianca rolling under the post, clearing Cargill off the apron, but she blasts Io with a roundhouse kick. Sane diving crossbody to the floor to take Jade out. And Bianca gets out of the submission attempt, but Sky blasts her with a shotzi and falls with a roll up stomp. Off the rope spear gets Bianca some breathing room. Tags made, same lightning Jade up with chops, taking her back for a sleeper hold. Boot up in the corner, diving crossbody caught and countered into a backbreaker. A huge powerbomb follows the match. The metaphor, Sane and swings her into the barricade in front of the Mega Girls. Um, Hurricane Moonsault wipes the champs out. Io jaws at the metaphor, and Shakira grabs her hair and blasts her with a right hand. The referee didn't see it. Jade and Bianca was just talk trashing to the metaphor, which was Jamara and Jackson and Lash Legend. Those are the metaphor from NXT. Um, and Sky bounces over the apron. Bianca with a deadlift suplex lift over the ropes into a backbreaker wrap. Bianca was able to hit the KOD on Io Sky. Bianca and Jade defeats Damage Control, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane by pinfall to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And this is interesting because obviously Damage Control and Bianca have a lot of history with Damage Control. Jade somewhat. And this is interesting because all this time Bianca had history with Damage Control. Damage Control was a heel group, so it's kind of weird seeing that, now that the crowd are cheering for both teams. So now Damage Control, and now it sounds like they're a face. So there was times in the match that they cheered for Damage Control. So that was kind of interesting to see because knowing the history between Bianca and Damage Control, they always boo Damage Control, but that's interesting to see. So what are your thoughts on Bianca and Jade successfully retaining their tag team championship for the second week in a row?
I think it's a great win, great pickup win for Bianca and Jade. Shows that they're improving as champions. They're continuing their streak as the tag team champions, and hopefully they'll continue to hold that streak going strong going forward. And you know, I would say they that damage control lost because they were attacked by the Mega Four, and it's and the Mega Four were defeated by Bianca and Jade. So I believe that they have unfinished business with Bianca and Jade. I want to get some payback to get the tag team titles off of them. Um, but it's good to see that they have competition there for damage control. This is such a big turnaround with damage control because they have been lately in the gutter. They were just floundering as a heel group. They were one of the top dominant heel groups on SmackDown before they came over to Raw, before they broke up with Bailey, and Bailey won that championship. So there's just infighting that just broke them up, and now damage control is not the same damage control as before. It's Sky and Kairi Sane that are there, Asuka and and I forgot her other name is not there anymore. So you
Asuka
know,
and Dakota Kai.
yeah, the Asuka and Dakota Kai are still recovering and they're not at full strength, and so with just Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane there, it's just the two of them. So it's kind of interesting to see that now they're received as a popular face group. And I think that both of them, they could do well as a heel or a face group because they've really shown themselves to be a really popular um, tag team. They're pretty well renowned faction for the women's division. And when they're 100%, they can be a really dangerous team. So I think this is a good step forward for them.
All right. So moving on, we see obviously we see Finn Balor talk to Adam Pearce about when his rematch against Damon Priest, but Adam Pearce says there's no rematch, and thank you Adam Pearce for stepping up. Finn Balor and JD McDonagh has not defended the title enough, and Adam Pearce announced that they have no obligation to defend the tag team titles. He is setting up a tournament to crown new challengers. Thank you, Adam Pearce. This is what we've been waiting for. Like, why hasn't Finn Balor and JD McDonagh been defending their titles? So now we got number one contender matches to determine who will face Finn Balor and JD McDonagh, and I can imagine this match is going to be set for crown jewels. It has to be. Maybe we have to see. And we see Adam Pearce have a sit-down talk with Bronson Reed. Pearce said he gives talent room to be wild and he eats the cruiselines for it, but Reed went too far in the last Monster Standing match against Braun Strowman. Bronson apologized for going too far, but he said it's ultimately Seth Rollins' fault, and everything he's done has just been to get him to the main event. If Adam just made the match, there was no trouble. And basically, Adam Pearce said they're on the same page, and he hopes they are. He talked to Seth. He said he wants the match. Bronson Reed wants a match with Seth Rollins, and he tells Bronson Reed that he's gonna go talk to Seth. Moving on to the first match, the first World Tag Team Championship number one contender tournaments. We got Alpha Academy, Akira, Tozawa, and Otis versus the returning Viking Raiders, but now they are known as the War Raiders. Erik and Ivar, welcome back, Erik. It's been a long time coming from your injury. Welcome back, and Ivar and Otis to start ducking and dodging, and Otis takes him down with a lateral. Tag to Tozawa, Warbeard gets him in the corner. Tag to Erik, and one Raider slam the other to Akira. Quick tag, big knees, counters the Caterpillar into a reverse roundhouse. Power slam on Tozawa into the Bronco Buster on Otis. Erik with a hard knee, stalking after Akira Tozawa, picking him up and throwing him into a splash. The War Raiders defeats the Alpha Academy with a fallout on Akira Tozawa. Damn. Welcome back. I guess the War Raiders. It's great to see Erik back. And this is what I've been talking about throughout the months. Like, the Erik and Ivar are a legit tag team, and they deserve a shot at the tag team championship. And now that Erik is back, that just shows they're still deadly. And I feel like they could go all the way and face Judgment Day. I feel like you should just put the tag team titles on them. They're a worthy opponent, and they're just strong. They're just insane. They're just buff. They're just strong, man. But welcome back, Erik. Great to see you. And like I said before, I kept saying, oh, if Erik came back from injury, they should just go after the titles. And now they're in this tournament. So great job booking them in this tournament, Adam Pearce. So what are your thoughts on the War Raiders? Was used to known as the Viking Raiders. What are your thoughts on their win over Alpha Academy?
I think, well, it's a great pickup win. Great, like, first of all, congratulations and welcome back to the War Raiders, to the bike formerly known as the Viking Raiders, Ivar and Erik. I mean, they were when they were actually going for and doing tag team matches. I mean, they were intimidating. They were explosive. I've never seen big guys like Ivar and Erik move around the ring like they can. I mean, they are big, they are nimble, and they are fast. I mean, they're quick on their feet, and they're just back to where they were before Erik got injured. And man, I would have loved to see Alpha Academy get the win, move on up, and to be challenging the next challenger to to get the contender to, because the Judgment Day is a heel group and the War Raiders are sort of like a I mean the Judgment Day is a heels and Alpha Academy are faces. So Alpha Academy will be also be great contenders for a tag team title um, matchup. You know, but they lost unfortunately to the War Raiders, and I would say it was an unfair advantage because Otis can handle his own against against one big guy. But if it's two big guys, I mean, you could say that the War Raiders demolished our Alpha Academy. It was just too much for them, and so that's just it is what it is. But it's a great pickup win for the War Raiders, and I agree with you that they definitely would be a challenge for the Judgment Day because they don't have that intimidating presence anymore. They're not very they just don't have it. They don't have it. They've lost that appeal. They've lost that aura of them being the tag team champions. They just have the numbers on their side. They don't really have that ability to intimidate people. I mean, they still have that sort of intimidation, but it's not the same type of intimidation. So I would say, Eric and Ivar definitely go for it. Get those titles off Judgment Day and defend those titles.
All right,
Yeah.
so moving on, we see Adam Pearce this time chat with Seth Rollins. He said Seth Rollins says injuries are part of the game and makes the Impact and plead for a chance to not do the Vengeance up, but put the best possible Seth Rollins on Raw. So we might see Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed maybe on an episode on Raw, or maybe even Crown Jewel. We have to see what happens. Moving on, we got Cody Rhodes making his entrance. He said he considers himself a traditionalist, so he's proud to stand in the city that has such rich roots in the world of professional wrestling, but there's also been more recent history, something very special in this building not too long ago that generally changed his life for the better. The first We Want Cody chance, and he thanks everyone for it. He asks what everyone wants to talk about until he gets interrupted by his crown jewel opponent, Gunther, the ring general. He says usually he comes out here and dresses his opponent down with uncontrolled truth. But Gunther says, to be honest here, there's not much negative to say about Cody. Gunther says this war is a boom period and it's all built on Rhodes' back. He makes every town, every country, and every continent, and he's truly the quarterback of this operation. And he said that there's not many people that in the company respect, but he does respect Cody, but he just loves to be everyone's darling. But that's thing because he's in the mess with his old friend Kevin. So Gunther taking a shot at Cody talking about Kevin Owens, who knows now that everyone's friend is no one's real friend, and he expects Rhodes to sort out his emotion mess and give him the best version of Cody Rhodes in Saudi Arabia. One champion to another, Cody's seeing what happens. The ring general throws his whole arsenal at his opponent as they keep coming, and Gunther breaks. And Gunther has never faced him before, and Cody has beaten the most dominant champion in WWE history. Cody said he already slayed the beast. Like I said, there's hints that Brock Lesnar might come back. The ring general shakes his hand and wishes him luck and leaves. So Gunther giving Cody his flowers, but Gunther did say something. He pulled a Roman saying that Cody is always going to be the secondary champion. So, what are your thoughts on this segment with Gunther and Cody? A dream match right here. I can't wait.
Yeah, it is a dream match for sure. I would say Gunther definitely he gave him his flowers, but at the same time he tore him down. At the same time, he definitely dissed him by calling the WWE Championship a secondary championship. He's basically saying that Cody is not the same as he's kind of stale. So and in reality, when you look at since WrestleMania, Cody's matches and Cody's opponents have been lackluster. It just hasn't. It's Cody. The Cody effect has lost its effect. Cody is now people are turning on Cody, and it seems like Cody Rhodes is not the same Cody Rhodes as we know from last year and the year before. Now that he's a champion now, he is not a very good champion, just to say the least. And Gunther is correct in some aspects. Gunther is a dominant intercontinental champion, and Gunther really can back it up. He beat Sami Zayn. He beat his other opponent. He beat Sami Zayn as a challenger, so he retained his title. But now that Cody's never faced Gunther, to be honest. Cody has never Cody has never faced Gunther. I don't think we've ever seen Cody face Gunther. Cody faced Gunther at Royal Rumble, but Cody never faced Gunther as a champion. Now Gunther as a champion is going to be a different. This is different now. The titles are on the line, and we
No,
don't know who's going to
titles aren't on the line. It's just the Crown Jewel Championship on the line. That's it. It's
or the
basically a
crown
fake.
jewel.
It's basically a fake championship, basically.
Well, if
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So I
crown.
don't know what the whole point of it, but yeah, it's basically Nia and Liv. There's history there, and that's just weird seeing two heels go at it. So,
It is. It is weird.
all right. So moving on to the next match, we got Braun Breaker going one on one with Kofi Kingston. Oh boy, big rip to Kofi. Click the prayer button for Kofi right here. So, Breaker in control and taking his time, hard whipped into the corner. Kingston explodes out with a drop kick, but Braun is right on him with a shoulder block. Breaker once again in control, like Kofi had no choice. Kofi sidesteps a charge and he goes hard into the turnbuckles. Trouble in Paradise countered, but the SOS connects, kicks out of the corner, but Braun stays on him. Braun Breaker hits the spear on Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston defeats Kofi Kingston. Excuse me, Braun Breaker defeats Kofi Kingston by pitfall with a spear. Post match, Braun pressed the attack, and Jey Uso makes the save and lays Braun out with a spear. But once again, Xavier Woods doesn't want to shake Jey Uso's hand. So What are your thoughts on Braun Breaker defeating Kofi? That just sucks for Kofi. He had no chance.
Kofi, yeah, Kofi. It's sad to see Kofi Kingston had no choice against Braun Breaker. Of course, I mean Braun Breaker is dominant. Still the same dominant guy that he was when he won his championship, when he was, in NXT, and now he's in WWE. Um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that Kofi would not be able to beat Braun, but it happened. So, he didn't stand a chance. Great win for Braun. At least he's getting another win now added to his belt. And Jey Uso is saving. It should have been Xavier Woods that's saving Kingston from Braun Breaker. But what else can he do? I mean, it's obvious now that Xavier Woods is turning heel, and he's gonna turn on Kingston. And I think Xavier Woods is gonna definitely be a challenger for Jey Uso in his title sometime in the future as well. Because I mean, let's get this straight: the Usos and the New Day never really liked each other. They've always had history, and now we're seeing that those old feelings from Xavier Woods come back up. Jey Uso is not Xavier Woods' friend. He's Kobe Kingston seems to have uh, mended mended some friendship with Jey Uso, but Xavier Woods doesn't feel that way. So that's the way I see it.
All right, so moving on, we got a grudge match. R Truth versus The Miz. Oh boy. Truth still thinks The Miz is his friend, playing to the crowd, offer a handshake to Miz, and we get a Wyatt 6 VHS cut in. Miz, you're pretty much fucked, so the Wyatt 6 is going after The Miz. So it didn't really happen. Nothing really happened this match. I know the Final Testament makes their entrance, and Miz gets distracted. R-Truth with the schoolboy pin and wins by pitfall. R-Truth tries to hug Miz, but Miz pushes him away. And then Karen Cross smiles at R-Truth, pretends to be his friend, and say, "Good job, good job." But when R-Truth was walking away, this was hilarious. Karen Cross was like, "Get him, get him now." Orders the Author of Pain to grab Truth and throw him back in the ring. The Miz hits the skull crushing finale, and The Miz is staring at Karen Cross. So we all know that Karen Cross is behind this. I feel like The Miz could possibly join Karen Cross in this Final Testament, and we've been talking about the people are talking about maybe the Wild Six is going to feud with Karen Cross in the Final Testament. We can see that. Who knows? We could that could happen. So we saw Karen Cross confronting Miz in a couple backstage segments. Maybe he just gave up on Xavier Woods and said, "I'm just gonna try to recruit someone else." The Miz, perfect. But what are your thoughts on R Truth defeating the Miz?
I can see Karrion Cross getting the Miz to join him because now that if they get the Miz, man, the Final Testament become a even bigger heel faction than they are before because now they were just in the swamp, but they just upgraded from the swamp to uh, they went from the sewage place to the swamp. This makes them an interesting team, and they could definitely be a good team to get tag team titles, get a singles championship out of it. This is interesting. I like to see how that development goes, and with our truth is, I don't know, just trying to win back the Miz or something. With but the Miz just doesn't want to. The Miz has been driven crazy by our truth. Let's just admit it. Our truth is a crazy dude. He's crazy,
Do you think
but
Do you think Karen Cross brainwashed the Miz?
I could say he played on his insecurities. Because our truth has been driving him crazy as of late. So he tried to join the Judgment Day, and the Miz backed him out, and they won the titles, and they lost the titles. So yeah, I mean, our truth. I mean, I could say the Miz's frustration.
I would like to see the Final Testament feud with the Wyatt Six. That'll be
Yeah,
interesting. You get Scarlett versus Nikki Cross. That's gonna be
yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. I would like to. This makes
And
that makes
then
it very
you
more
got
interesting.
Eric
So
and Roman and Joe. You get Uncle Howdy versus Karen Cross, along with you got Dexter Loomis. I mean, you need a third person on Dexter Loomis because Paul Ellery literally doesn't do anything. So literally, they only got 3 people on their final testament, where I think the Wyatt Six has like 6 people or whatever. Five. Wait, Uncle Howdy, Dexter, Joe Gaffney, and Erik. So basically 4, 5 if you include Nikki Cross. So 5. Sorry, and then you literally only have 3 people that does anything on the Final Testament. So basically, so we have to see what happens. So we see Jimmy Uso come to Raw and look for Jimmy Uso. We see Jimmy Uso looking backstage and tries to find Jay. He sits and asks him, "Can we talk?" But Jay shuts him down, and once again they come to face, and Jay's like, "I said no, now get out of my face," and then ignores Jimmy. So Jay Uso does not want anything to do with Jimmy Uso, and I feel like that's a storyline with Roman. I think Roman's going to come to Raw and try to persuade Jey Uso to join them. But I don't know. Roman doesn't feel comfortable with Jay. He said no yeet last Friday on SmackDown. So, um, all right. So main event time. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Earlier, Rhea Ripley agreed to team up with Tiffany Stratton. So I said this is going to be a fantastic tag team right here. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton. So this is interesting. When was the last time the woman was in the main event? So this is interesting. So and honestly, this was a great match. I was excited, but it just got ruined. I'll talk about that after the match. So basically, Morgan and Rhea Ripley to start. Rhea overwhelming her, but soon enough, she tags Raquel Rodriguez in. Stratton tags herself in, and Rhea Ripley gets pissed off at her. Raquel throws her around, passes her to the floor, and powerbombs Liv over the rope. Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton gets into an argument. Doesn't know what's going on. That's when Raquel throws Liv Morgan over the rope to the butt, and then Liv takes out both Rhea Ripley and Tiffany. But Liv and Raquel in control, working on Stratton over. Nia Jax is here and gets involved. The match goes to no contest. Nia Jax starts attacking. Rhea gets Nia up for a riptide, but Liv chop blocks her and puts her boots to her. Nia Jax absolutely destroys Morgan. Just completely destroy Liv when she's passed out and calls for Tiffany to get her briefcase. And it's like, oh boy, that actually happened? Is Tiffany gonna cash in on Liv? But no, Dirty Dom makes the save and they leave, ending the show. And this is hilarious. We hear Tiffany Stratton say, "It's not Dommy time, it's Tiffany time." I like that line, which ends the show. But yeah, they just ruined a fucking great match. But I just don't like this matchup because, I mean, Rhea Ripley agreed to it, but man, you can never team a face with a heel. Like, it doesn't work. And you've seen Rhea Ripley and Tiffany fight during this match. That's why you don't ever put a face and a heel to tag together. You basically had a heel and a face tagging together against 2 heels. You can never do that. And look what happens. They get distracted, and Liv and Raquel, they work so well as a team. They used to be tag team partners, if you guys don't remember. They were tag team champions. They actually know what they're doing. And you got Rhea Ripley and Tiffany, who are facing the heel, and they just keep fighting. They're arguing, and they don't know what they're doing. That's just not. That just can't happen. But what are your thoughts on this match?
It was basically, I would say, 4 against 1 for Rhea Ripley. Because Rhea Ripley could have. Let's admit it. You had Nia Jax somewhere off in the crowd, being there. You had Liv Morgan, you had Raquel Rodriguez, you had Tiffany Stratton. 3 of those women had faced off against Rhea Ripley. 3 of those women do not like Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is standing on her own. She's a woman on her own island right now. She doesn't have any allies right now to help her. And at any moment, they could all gang up on her and take her out. And I mean, only Tiffany Stratton is the only one that she's never faced. That's never faced Rhea Ripley in WWE. So I mean, it could have been that in that match that Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan decided to team up, but then Tiffany Stratton could have just Tiffany Stratton could have just not decided to help Rhea Ripley until it would have been 1-on-4 instead of 2 on. You know, we could have seen a worse situation unfold
Ooh,
right
that would
there.
been that would been a perfect time. Like, imagine if Tiffany didn't help. Imagine if just Becky Lynch just came out of nowhere.
You would have
Because
seen
the
a
thing is,
big
like,
big big
Becky
push
has a
model.
grudge against Liv, but we didn't really see a lot of Raquel and Becky though. That's the only issue. But that would have been a huge pop if it started as a handicap and then Becky just comes and help Rhea.
Yeah, it would have made it more interesting. But yeah, I agree. Like you said, Liv Morgan and Raquel, they've been tag team champions. They've worked together. They know what they're doing. But
If it was Liv and Raquel versus Nia and Tiffany, that would have been a better match. That would have been a much better match. Because you got Nia and Tiffany who has like they're having a partnership right there, and you got two heels teaming up against two heels, which is that's amazing. But yeah, I just didn't like the fact that they had a face and a heel together.
yeah, it was weird. It's weird to have. I mean, I think that's happened before in the past. You'd have two two different, like a heel and a face, teaming up against a bigger heel group, and you would see sometimes, oh, if they work together, they can overcome it. But unfortunately, Liv Morgan and Tiffany Stratton, I mean Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton are not a good tag team. They obviously they're not a good tag team.
Someone
You
made a
you've seen that.
typo. Someone made a typo online, and I was like, huh? Someone made a typo, and it said Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. And I was like,
Oh,
huh?
that's not
It's like,
that's
huh?
not
That's gotta be
happening.
a typo. No, 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 no.
Yeah. What's funny, you said that Nia Jax destroyed Liv Morgan. I mean, obviously,
Do you
Liv
think
Morgan.
the question is like I don't want to talk too much because this video is long, but if Dominic wasn't there to save Liv, do you think Tiffany would have cashed in on Liv, or do you think she would have
Oh, I
hesitated?
definitely think
Do
she
you
would
think
have.
she would
She
have
would definitely
hesitated?
have
Do you think she
canceled.
would have hesitated?
Absolutely. That's the perfect opportunity.
Do
Absolutely.
you think she would?
Once she
Do
does
you
that,
think because do you think
game over.
Tiffany would have been? Do you think Tiffany would have hesitated if Dom didn't help Liv? Maybe Tiffany
No,
wanted to cash in on Nia
I
instead.
don't think so. I don't think
Because
so because
it's clear it's
because she has
clear as
Nia
day
Jax
that
there.
I think Tiffany is gonna cash in on Nia Jax because Dom saves Liv. That's just gonna show yeah Tiffany is gonna cash in on Nia and the way that Nia's been treating Tiffany. Yeah, and then that's when Tiffany. I feel like Tiffany is gonna turn face and then she's gonna win the title. Once she wins the title, she's gonna turn face, and I can't
Yeah.
wait.
It would be crazy if she didn't
She needs to pull like a
if she had
legendary. People
chosen to
are
do
like,
that.
oh, Seth. It's like, oh, Tiffany should wait until next WrestleMania in Vegas and make a like pull like a Seth Rollins like legendary cash in.
I mean, if Damian Priest can do it to Drew McIntyre on WrestleMania, then Tiffany
Because
Stratton is definitely doing it
because
to legendary Nia
we're
Jax.
either gonna see this. This is gonna happen. I don't want to talk too much. Sorry. This is what's gonna happen. I think either way, Nia's gonna turn on Tiffany, making Tiffany a face, or we're just gonna see Tiffany cash in on Nia. She receives a pop, and then she's gonna receive a pop once she cashes in on Nia, and then she's gonna be a face. So I feel like that could happen. So, but anyways, that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this broadcast. My name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. In terms of grading, like I said, I wasn't really a fan of the main event. It just didn't make sense that they put a face and a heel together. So the main event was okay, I guess, but ugh. I like the Cody Rhodes Gunther segment. I like that they're showing the storyline of the bloodline, like Jey Uso trying to confront Jay to help. So I give this show a B minus. Overall, I thought it was great, but the main event was eh. So I give the show a B minus. How about you?
I'm gonna give it a. It wasn't great. It wasn't okay.
And it was
So I'm gonna give it
pre-taped.
a B.
It was a pre-taped show too. So
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a C plus. I'm thinking of a C plus.
C
So
plus.
it wasn't good.
Oh
It wasn't
man.
great. It was a C
All right.
plus.
All right, but
Yeah.
anyways, that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. Be sure to check out Canadian Yorker's YouTube channel. His link will be in the description of this video, as well as our WWE Wrestling Bros channel, our wrestling channel. That will also be in the link of the video of this description. And just a heads up, I'm gonna be live on YouTube next Monday for Monday Night Raw. It's gonna be great. I'm just gonna be reacting to it. So be sure to check out my stream then. I'm gonna start around like 8 o'clock. So there's gonna be some really great matchups. Jey Uso and Braun for the IC title. So be sure to check that out. So take it easy, guys. See you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you guys in the next broadcast. See you guys later.